Welcome back, everyone, to Kale's podcast. This is episode 3, and with me today I have Alex Brown. He is a receiver at Bucknell University, one of my former roommates and a very good friend of mine. Alex, how are we doing today?
What's up, everybody? My name is Alex. Had some great time with Okeo. Sadly, he left me, but it's great to talk to him again. What's up, brother?
Yeah, how's spring ball going so far?
It's going pretty good. We just started. We're on day 3 now. It's pretty similar offense from what we've been doing last year. Definitely excited to get back. But it's been pretty good so far.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, I missed all you guys. I'm thinking about coming again next month. Maybe we'll see if your guys is formal, but
Yeah, that'd be good.
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out a time and day to do that. So, yeah. So taking a jump back to like your childhood, when did you start playing football, and when did it like start becoming a part of your life?
Football has been a part of my life pretty much ever since I was born. My dad was a receiver at Arizona, so he wanted to instill football in us pretty early. We started up at the age of, I would say, 4 or 5. He just had us doing like the pee wee stuff like right away, and I remember he'd always bring us up to like play with the older guys, even though we should not have been, and it was a little illegal, but he was fine with it, just throwing us out there. I started out my first year ever. I played running back actually, and then ever since then I played quarterback until college, and now I'm playing receiver.
Yeah, I mean, so your dad as a receiver, what made you want to play quarterback, or was that something that he wanted you to play?
Yeah, it's something that he wanted me to do, but once I started going it, I just loved the leadership aspect of it. I loved being able to take charge of the guys, command a team in a way where you can being able to command a team and take over and just like lead a team to exactly where they need to be, which is championship, winning. And then I don't know. I loved having the ball in my hands every play. I mean, who doesn't?
And yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
but yeah, I just loved all aspects of it. But he definitely pushed me to get into it at first.
And then obviously, like you have a younger brother too. Were you able to like play with him at all? Because he's like a receiver tight end now. Were you able to ever like throw the ball to him like in games like when you guys were young?
Yeah. Yeah, when we were younger, we actually played on the same team. He did this kind of same thing. He brought him up to play with the big boys a couple times. So we played, and then in high school, we actually played on rival teams. It was a big rival matchup against like RBC versus RFH. We used to have like 5, 6. I don't even know how many thousands of people would come to the game, and it was a huge game in Jersey. So that was pretty fun. So I've never lost to him yet, but he's going to UPenn next year, so we'll see. The rivalry will continue.
Yeah, and I mean Bucknell is a Patriot League school. They play a couple of Ivy League schools, and we played Penn last year, so
Yeah,
maybe.
we're playing Penn next year too. So.
Oh, really? So that'll be
Yeah.
nice. That'll be fun to see.
Yeah, so we're gonna play again next year.
Might have to come down to that game or something.
Yeah.
Did you have like any NFL players or even just any other role models that you looked up to when you were growing up?
So growing up, I would say my my favorite player in college was Tim Tebow. I thought he was a sick athlete. I just loved his speeches, his leadership, and the way that the guys would rally around him. Um, Obviously, as a football player, but even as a person too. You could just see his electric energy surge through the whole program. And I mean, what a great guy to follow. And then coming more into like high school, um, more recently, I mean, I just love Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's literally. I mean, there's a couple of reasons why I started wearing 8, but He's one of them for sure. Um, he had such a big impact on me, just like seeing like as like I was more of like an athlete than like a true quarterback. Seeing him being able to go to that level in college and then especially in the pros, it was so inspirational to see how someone could take that role of being a quarterback and turn it into a whole different variety. Um, and it just inspired me to play the way I do or the way I did.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm from Maryland, so like Lamar coming to the
Yeah.
Ravens was obviously like awesome for me
Yeah.
to see, even though I'm not like a Ravens fan, I would say,
The
sadly. But yeah, Lamar definitely a big impact. And then Tim Tebow, like one of probably the greatest college athletes, maybe,
Really?
uh, of all time. So yeah, those are two very good NFL players to look up to. And then obviously you said you were from RVC, or you went to RVC your high school year. I know you finished your high school career there, but you didn't start there, right?
No. So I actually started out at a very famous football school called St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City. That was when I was living in New York. And I'd have to take 2 ferries to get there, um, which was crazy. It was like an hour and 30 minutes to get there. But I loved football, so I was dedicated to it. Um, I had an awesome freshman year there, but um, and I was gonna compete for the starting spot with this kid named Taj Boyd, I think it was. Um, and he was a really good athlete. He went to Virginia Tech, and then I think he's at Akron now. Super good athlete, great arm, but we were kind of duking it out, and it actually didn't look too bad. Like I was doing pretty well, but then we found out that we're gonna move down to the Jersey Shore area, just family reasons, different stuff like that. Turns out they got good football too. So we decided that it was too far of a drive. I think it would have been like 2 hours or something to get to school. And I was already trying to compete for the spot. So we started looking at schools down there, and I actually ended up going to a school called Modern Day Prep, which was led by head coach Dino Mangiro. He was also a very well known person and level NFL, college, high school levels, especially around New York and Jersey, though. And great guy. Went there for 2 years. The program, he actually ended up retiring, and the program got shut down, which in turn actually shut the school down. So then my senior year, I had to find a spot, and I don't know what happened, but God just called me to RBC, and ended up being the best year ever for any of my football years.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you were like one of the first commits for Bucknell, and then you have like this big senior year blowing up. Obviously, like knowing you as a roommate, I know there was a lot of positives and negatives like your senior year. Do you want to like talk about that a little bit at all or no?
Yeah. So going into senior year, I knew I wanted to be special. I already knew I was committed to Bucknell, but I haven't really cemented that legacy in high school football. Um, and I was like, man, this has got to be a special year, not only for myself but for my mom, who had been battling with cancer for 15 or 16 years at that point. I was like, we don't know how much longer she has. It could be months, weeks, even days. So I have to make every single game count just for her. So every game I came in with that mentality. Just kept pushing and pushing, pushing, pushing these guys in the summer, and then we just started dominating these games. Um, I mean, you would see the scores; it would be like 40-7, 65-17, whatever. And there were good teams. I mean, there was Rumson was ranked like top 10 in the state at the time. We were playing Donovan Catholic; they were ranked like top 5 in the state. Playing DePaul, they were ranked like top 3 in the state. We were playing these great teams. Even teams around the Jersey Shore, just battling it out. And every game I would dedicate it to her. And she loved it. She came to every game that she possibly could. She would get wheeled out onto the field after the games to celebrate with us. Super impactful year on not just myself, but I think the whole community around me, especially at RBC. And starting to come to the playoffs, right before our first playoff game, she actually ended up passing away the day before our first playoff game. And I remember coaches calling me up, teachers calling me up, players calling me up, asking me if I'm going to play, questioning if I'm going to play, to asking me if I'm all right, like take my time, whatever it is. But all I remember thinking about is that this woman battled 15, 16 years just to stick around for her sons, for me and my brother. And I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, I gotta finish this. I gotta do what I love because that's the only thing she would want me to do. So the next day, we got the playoff game. No one knew if I was gonna show up or not. I show up right before the game, and I tell the guys that this is gonna be one of the best games that we've ever had, and we're gonna do it for someone very special. That game, there was just some type of aura, some type of presence around us, and we ended up putting on a show, man. And we had I had 8 touchdowns that day, and then it got posted everywhere on social media. I made one last thing just to praise her, say I love her, and say I did it for you for 8 touchdowns. Got 8 touchdowns for you, which is also our lucky number. And the tweet actually ended up going viral, and it was a pretty awesome day.
Yeah, I mean, I know like that's hard for anybody going through all that, and I know when I saw it, because I had just committed to Bucknell probably around the same time that it happened, and I saw you like on social media. I didn't know you at the time, but I was like, wow, this guy's about to come to Bucknell, like that's actually insane. But yeah, like 8 touchdowns in a game, like what was it, 4 passing, 4 rushing, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 4 passing, 4 rushing,
Like that's
something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
but
that's
it was awesome.
yeah, and I know later that year you got invited to the Super Bowl. Um,
Yep.
what was
So
that experience like?
yeah, that was. I mean, so we ended up winning the state championship. Obviously, dedicating all that stuff to her. After the tweets went viral and stuff, I got asked to go on like every social media website. Went on overtime season, overtime. Went on ESPN. I got like National Player of the Week, all this different stuff. And then like I'm not even thinking about it. Like I'm like, oh, that was awesome. We got the state championship, whatever. Everything's passed. I'm like, all right, that was such a special moment in time. I'm never gonna forget that period of my time in my life. And and then it's actually basketball season, and it's like the second or third week of basketball season. I'm not really I don't really remember, but I remember that it was after my practice and my team had pranked me. I don't know how, but they were all in on it, and they go like, dude, I think someone's like trying to like mess with you. Like someone's trying to like they keep calling me. And I'm like, what? And they're like, dude, check your phone. I think someone's gonna call you. So we were in the locker room. And then I'm like, dude, who is this number? And I pick it up and it's Daniel Jones, who's like he's the quarterback for the Giants, my favorite team. And I'm like, oh, what's up, Dang Dimes? And he goes and we're just like talking back and forth, and he's like, so I'm so proud of you, and the Giants are proud of you, and we're gonna give you Super Bowl tickets. And then everyone went crazy. It was super awesome. Um, it was a really cool time. We got flown out to LA. Me and my dad. My brother couldn't go. Me and my dad got flown out, and definitely an experience. I mean, I've never been to a Super Bowl. I've never
Yeah.
been to a game like that. It was the Bengals versus the Rams at the Rams' hometown, and it was an electric game. I mean, you guys remember that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
It was an awesome game.
Who does
So
not
I was
love
so
that?
grateful for that experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now, obviously, you decided Bucknell. You've been there for 2 years. Um, and when I got to know you, like when we were rooming our freshman year, you just come in with this guitar. So like transitioning a little bit into your other thing now, which is music. Um, when did you discover music, and when was that like a passion for you?
So my mom actually, my one side was always my dad pushing me for football, sports, basketball, whatever it was. Always in a sports mindset. But the other side of my life consisted of my mom pushing me in the arts aspect. She was a very creative mind. She was a model, a painter, and a writer. And I always loved that side of my mom. We were very close, best friends. And from an early age, I would just, play my little guitar. Had no idea what I was strumming, singing for her in my diapers, whatever it was, and she loved it. So as I continued to get older, she would always push me for guitar lessons. Oh, maybe you should get singing lessons. Oh, maybe you should go in the school play or musical or this and that. So I did all those things. I didn't really think much of it. But recently I've been getting back into the music scene pretty heavily on top of school and football. And I mean, it's been amazing. I've created, I think we have like 15 songs now, me and my brother. But we have only released one. We have another song coming out this early next month, April 12th. It's called $1,000 Shoes. It's gonna be a good one. But I mean, it's just really cool that I can come back to that and have those both sides of like the creativity and obviously the athletic ability. But it's pretty awesome to step in and out of those auras.
And how have you been able to like balance that? Because obviously football is already a lot, and
Yes.
schools a lot, especially with the big academic school like Bucknell. And music can definitely take up full time, especially if you've made 15
Yeah.
songs already. So how have you balanced that?
I've obviously being in college, there's a lot of different distractions and stuff. I think it's mainly been consistent just because of putting my focus and mindset and all the things that I truly want to do. So obviously I want to get better at football. Okay, I'm going to dedicate this much time to football. I need to do well in school. I'm going to dedicate this much time to school. And any extra time I get, instead of, using it to hang out with friends 24/7 or going to certain parties or bars or whatever it is, I dedicate that time to either, writing, playing, practicing, whatever it has to be. I make sure that I get that done before going to anything else. So I think it's just time management, which we all know as college students and as you as former athlete, like it's the biggest thing is that time management that you get because all we really have is time. That's all we really get.
Yeah, that's it for me. Do you have anything you want to ask me at all? Or
Well, what's been the most rewarding and the most difficult things with this podcast so far?
rewarding, I would say just it's nice to reconnect with people and be able to get certain, because a lot of people have interesting stories, so it's nice to be able to talk to them about what they've been through and how they got into where they are. Difficulty would be one, just trying to stay consistent with it. I mean, I have 2 episodes out now, but the last one was about like 2 weeks ago because of like spring break and like midterms and things like that. So I'd say that's one of like the difficult things. And another one's just trying to get people on, trying to have people find time to, because I know you're busy with everything, as you said, sports, music, school. So it's kind of hard for us to find time as well. But just those things pretty much. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Alex, for taking the time to come on. I appreciate it. And I hope spring ball goes well for you. Just keep up all the good work. I've already heard the music. I know. But I just can't wait for that to come out and everyone else can hear it as well.
It'll be awesome, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome talk, bro.